Hello, you are listening to Skipping the Queue. We're going to be talking about episode 20 of Ultraman Blazar. My name is Red. I'm joined by Mel.
Can't believe we get to reference Furahashi's mom again.
Yeah. And I'm joined by Razan.
This is the podcast my son fought for.
Who is your son in this scenario?
Don't worry about it.
It's Chibi Godzilla.
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing the audio waves through my fingers.
Yeah. So, we got. This is the second time that Ultraman Blazar has visited that one episode where Furuhashi visits his mum, and then there's a whole attack. And yeah.
To be fair,
Kanan
they took different parts of it.
They took different parts of it. The other episode took Kanan.
Yeah, and this episode took the parent telling him to come home.
The Furuhashi's mommy issues are a canonical text in the Ultra series that are vital for modern understanding.
Weird bits of Ultra 7 becoming canon in other bits of Ultraman are a subject that will come up in the episode we're recording later. Quickly summarize this Blazar episode. Teruaki gets a call from home.
Let's fucking go, Teruaki episode!
Teruaki episode. He goes home and his dad is absolutely fine. And I'm like, oh lol, this is the Furuhashi episode. And then, his dad's like, I want you to get married. I want you to quit the GGF. You shouldn't be, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous life. And what do you're not contributing to your own life. You're not contributing to the family. What are you doing?
And according to the GGF, not even contributing to fighting the kaiju.
Well, yes.
His dad doesn't know this, but
his dad, Teruaki would not be happy if his dad got that bit of ammunition. It's like, your job is pointless. You don't do anything. But Teruaki is like, I'm fighting kaiju. And his dad's like, will there ever not be kaiju? You have to have a life, which I feel is, obviously legitimate criticism. Spider-Man 2. The farms...
No, you don't get it, Dad. There's a new monster every
week.
Except when the same one's there 4 times in a row somehow.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about next week.
Don't worry about next week.
Not only is there a new monster every week, sometimes they come back. You don't understand, Dad.
The farms around, because, remember, Teruaki, country bumpkin. He's a farmer's kid. The farms around the way are getting ruined. The soil is getting ruined. And they're not sure, what's doing it. Everyone goes on a little exploration, just go, see if they can catch, whatever ruined this fence on this farm, this very small little patch of field. And Teruaki and his dad find a little bug kaiju, and
Well, they find a weird hole first, but then bug kaiju comes out.
Yeah, and Teruaki calls home. He's like, well, the themes of the episode. He calls the base. He calls Scarred. And they come in, they rescue them, and now it's an operation. And so you got his dad gets to watch Teruaki in action, as the full Scarred team starts up a plan to fight destroy these pests, these bug kaiju. The Earth Garon flies into a cave.
Yeah, they blow up a mountain so the Earth Garon can go in.
Yeah, shoots up a bunch of little bugs, and then a giant bug comes out, kicks Earth Garon's ass, and then Ultraman Blazar comes out, is also getting his ass kicked, kind of, and Teruaki figures it out. The chirping of the bugs is a signal for danger, and so they can use that so all throughout this little village, they start blasting the noise of the chirping, a recording of it, and it puts off the giant kaiju enough that Ultraman Blazar can beat it, and Teruaki destroys the egg.
attaches C4 to his phone and throws it at the egg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And apologizes to the bugs, and then they blow up. And then his dad gives him his approval at the end of the episode. You can continue living your life. It seems like hard work. Teruaki fulfilling, actually managing to talk to his parent, unlike Furuhashi, who just imagined that the conversation went really well. And that's kind of the end of the episode. There is now, before we actually talk about anything else, important subplot in this episode is Scarred have been now that they're just out in public now, that people know about them, they have been set to, and also they're not taken seriously by their bosses anymore because they have new bosses that don't like them. They have been given the task of you're gonna do performances of a little show called what to do when a kaiju attacks, and it's for kids, and you're all gonna dress up, and Gento's gonna have a little chef outfit on with a little mustache, and it's gonna be amazing.
It's really good. All the costumes are so fucking funny every time they cut to him.
When he dramatically tears off the mustache.
He's just like, don't worry, we'll get retroactive approval for the operation.
So, okay, I want to point this out because this was another episode I did the dub for, and I actually like something the dub hears instead of the retroactive approval. He says, beg for forgiveness.
Yeah, it's same idea, but yes. And it's
with
really
his heroic smile.
Yeah, and then at the end of the episode, he's on the phone and he's just like, cool. We got to do it across the entire country now.
Every prefecture, we got to do this show. So yeah, we got a nice little father-son story here. Dad does not approve of his son's career in the big city, and he gets to see how much value his work has, and sort of you know what, you're doing all right, and gives him the go ahead to go back and
he protected this land.
Yes, the actual like emotional like punchline is his dad at the very end of the episode
rubs his grubby little fingers through the soil.
Yeah, runs his hands through the soil and says, "Yeah, my son, this is the land he protected." And this is,
I'll admit, I'd feel weird about the line if it was in Hokkaido. But anyway, it's not, thankfully. But
why is this episode 20? Is that a little weird to anyone else?
I think sometimes you do just have like an episode like this later in the show, like you.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about like how we want like maybe more plot happening.
It's less. So here's the thing: I'm not actually like super needy about getting plot so much as it's just.
Maybe it's later in the show that we should have got.
I just think it's weird. It's sequestered away from.
It's what you cast.
I just think it's so weird. It's sequestered this far removed from everyone else's like centric episode.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I did not need them to all be back to back to back, but I feel like this is weirdly late to give Teruaki his moment.
I think they kind of count his moment also in like the two-parter he had with Nijika Sasaki, which was stealth him.
Yeah,
Gento.
That's true.
But it does feel weird that like this is the one that's clearly an obvious Teruaki episode rather than like, oh, he's coming at the end.
Yeah.
And also, I will say it does feel weird having this immediately following, haha, stole your dad's journal, lol. Just kind of like, very, very cliffhanger level plot development last week, and now we're just like, to a more standalone episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got like 5 episodes left, and I expect most of those are going to be plot, so I don't think, having a few not plot episodes is fine.
Oh,
but this one does feel maybe just like its specific placement feels a bit odd.
Mm-hmm. it's part of me's like, I would like to earlier because this is my kind of stuff. I like this kind of stuff. Teruaki would have been like, I like this guy a lot more than for coming quite late. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm coming around on Teruaki. I didn't need to come around on him. I could have liked him up front. But it's as an episode, it's just good. It's just like does some like fundamental like relationship drama stuff, and I think the specifics of like when they're organizing the operation, and it's all like the them in their like scarred uniforms in this very like traditional Japanese house. It's like the city, my kid ran off and got a job in the big city. I think it's just like well executed.
Yeah. I think this episode, something that shocked me when I got to the end of this is I was like, overall, I think this does the Furahashi's mom plot better. And I find that impressive when, like, there's like no single scene that I'd say is as powerful as when Furuhashi is talking to his mom, like on the verge of death. But in spite of that, I actually think they just kind of handle the parent-child thing better. And the push and pull that comes with, having to be part of an organization like SCARD or, the Ultra Guard or whatever. So yeah, happy Teruaki got this little bit here.
Yeah, weird bug kaiju too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bug kaijus are fun. They spray mucus, and it's like this blue hardening stuff, and it's a lot of trapping trapping, like tying Blazar's feet to the floor, and it makes for some a fun dynamic to the fight. Once again, Ultraman Blazar does wind up with a tail wrapped around his neck. Ultimate weakness of Ultra Beam's tails.
More on that in the episode we're recording later.
Yes. Yeah, I like this. It's got there's a specific Bionicle that I remember that was one of the underwater villains, and it was the white one. And
did it come in a cup?
Oh, it's Canister.
Shut the fuck
up. Fun fact: I actually had a weird fondness for the year of the underwater. I thought it was cool, but yeah, I remember that guy, the shark guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but
do you need to remember the name? I think I remember the name.
That was the only set I owned all 6 of them. I really liked those ones. I was really needy about them. I was like, even when your hope is
no, that's the year before. Yeah. That's the year before the underwater year. That is funny. It was
that was the music for the trailer for the underwater villains is I want to quantify the word good here. It's good, but
it is a level of mid 2000s edgy.
Yes,
I want to say Evanescence core.
Yes, it is absolutely. For years, I genuinely thought when people were talking about Evanescence and that song, I was like, oh yeah, this is the song from the Bionicle trailer that I like. It was not.
God.
It was not, but I did think that was what it was.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought that trailer had Bring Me to Life in it. It should.
Bionicle's a funny property.
Yeah, it's funny that they had to stop making it because they finally got sued for being too racist.
That happened early on.
Oh, did that happen early on?
Yeah, it happened early on. They appropriated Maori names and terms, and the Maori were like, "What the fuck?"
Oh,
and
yeah,
they had to retroactively change the name of characters because of that.
They'd been doing it the whole time, but I figured that was why they eventually had to.
No,
to
I think
stop.
it's just like the sales started dwindling.
Oh,
my only recollection of Bionicle is I had the red guy with the fire sword.
Which
you're gonna have to
that
be more
describes
fucking
so
specific.
many guys. You have no idea.
He came in the cup.
They all
Shut the
come in
fuck up.
canisters.
Whatever the first gen was. Here, I'll narrow it down further.
Yeah, first gen. Okay, yeah.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was the first wave of them. I had the red one. I had a shitty PC game that I think was also on the PS2 and GameCube. And I had a Game Boy Advance game.
No.
I don't know. It was like a platformer, I think.
I had Bionicle Heroes on the Wii, which was like a third-person shooter.
I believe you're referring. The red Toa you are referring to is Tahu.
Yeah, it should be Tahu.
Which is the
Maybe.
first guy.
I guess I'll just say the Prydak is named the White Underwater.
Yes, Prydak. Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's what this guy reminded me of.
Oh yeah, it was fucking Tahu.
Yeah, this is I forgot this is an Ultraman podcast.
That's fine.
We are not about
Bionicle.
The only thing I have to say about this is that I rented the movie when it came out, and that was like I feel like the last Bionicle thing I engaged in. And the only thing I remember is that they make a tornado of sand, and then they're like fire and sand.
They did technically have like 4 movies.
Yeah.
I remember why Bionicle finished and then got rebooted with a bunch of new names, because they finished the story.
Apparently they were going to continue this story. We'd be like, hey, there's a planet with the jungles, and there's gonna be dinosaurs on it. I was like, damn, we should have got that.
Damn.
And we said they ended with a giant mecha battle, which is kind of cool.
Yes, it did. Man.
I think growing up as a Bionicle person and also a Pokemon person did just prime me to be like, yeah, stories should have 20 elements that are very hyper specific.
Yes. God.
This is why it is perfectly reasonable for you to go, yeah, you can have rocks and soil as different powers.
Yes. Oh man, I always
categorically
forget
not the same.
I forget whether black or brown is earth or rock. I always forget.
So black is earth for most of it, except for like the last year where black is rock, and then instead of brown is instead sand.
Come on,
instead
Lego.
Of like
get your game together, Lego.
Yeah, and then like green is air for some reason for all of them, except for the last year when it was actually plants.
Mm-hmm.
No consistency.
I remember having my brain kind of blown reading like the comics of the Underwater arc with the Mask of Life, and being like when they picked a main character from the 6 Toa, and I was like, you can't do that. That's that's not allowed. They just did. They just picked the ice guy. They said, no, he's the prophesied hero. I was like, what?
Yeah, and then you know what happens. They really did that.
They really did that.
I feel like it. As a kid, because like all those characters at that point were like started as like minor characters in like the first gen, and then they became the new gen heroes.
Yes, they did, because because Bionicle kind of works on like Digimon
Pokemon
rules.
Yeah, kind of.
And well, like, I guess Pokemon rules. They just
yeah, except for the middle stage was the strong one.
I had no idea you two were this deep into the Bionicle rabbit hole.
I didn't know Mel was this deep.
Listen, my first exposure to online communities when I was in elementary school to like middle school was Bionicle forums.
You might know my friend Claire.
Interesting.
She was the one who, when I made that post asking if Bionicles came in cups, is like, well, on the forums, everyone called them canisters. So
yes,
and I was like,
okay,
damn.
Right. I have a serious question for you. For context, Razan called the canisters that Bionicle come in cups, offhanded at some point, and his friends got mad at him.
Yes.
And it wasn't us. But he did tweet about it.
No, I was out in a real restaurant talking to people at a table while people were looking at us when this happened.
and then he tweeted about it, and I did not engage, but I did think, how is it a cup? Justify yourself.
It's a fucking cup. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm holding a water bottle. Is this a cup?
Democracy decided that's a cup. I'm looking at the poll results right now.
I love democracy.
But yeah, I got...
Revenge of the Sith moment.
I wasn't admittedly as much of a gamer until like until I got Smash Bros. Brawl. Before that, I was like, I played Pokemon, and then I was really into Bionicle and watched cartoons on TV. So I had extreme Bionicle brain for a long time. I
remember on the website, and I haven't gone looking for this. They had a game, like just an online game, on the website of the arc, the first Mask of Life arc on the island with the whole middle section missing. And they had a game that was surprisingly long and very in depth. And I was like, damn, you just released this you just put this on your website for free?
Which was this like the first gen or like the later gen? Because they'd have both, I think.
No, this was the one with like Toa Jala. This was the
okay, I remember. That was like a weird. That was like a
light, yeah.
A big ass like isometric RPG for whatever reason.
Yes, that was that is exactly what I'm thinking of.
It's crazy. I was like, what the fuck? It's crazy to think about in hindsight. I never beat that one because it was hard, but I did play it a bunch.
Yeah,
I never beat the first gen one, but I remember it being like people spoke with a reference about it.
Yeah, the number one thing that was funny when I went back and realized when I looked back into Bionicle and I was like, oh, this Mask of Light is not the same as the Mask of Life. These are two different things. And I was like, yes. Oh, okay. They were not all chasing the same mask for the whole time. Yeah. I'm sorry this became a Bionicle podcast, but I guess this is what happens.
When you're like...
I don't even remember how we got here.
When you're like really young and fixating, it's very cool to be like, man, there's so much lore in Bionicle, but also older and more distant. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of stupid lore in Bionicle.
Yeah.
Unnecessary details. The one writer for all the books was like a member of the forum, and people would ask him questions about lore.
And would he just answer?
Just situationally, yes.
Oh my god! Don't do
truly,
that.
Truly, the Brandon Sanderson of his time.
I think Brandon Sanderson was the Brandon Sanderson
of that time. Very extremely chaotic to be like, hey, here's this island. Hey, there's another island underneath, and it's like a city. What if that city was also part of an entire underground world, and also the entire underground world was a giant robot?
The third gen of Toa are prequel Toa, or something like that.
That's the second gen. The second gen.
Second gen. Sorry, yes.
Second gen is the prequel, and then the third one's
sorry.
Like
I was in my head I was counting Nova. I shouldn't.
And then the fourth gen was, hey, we brought back the old guys again for the final arc.
Yeah, with the
some new guys
with the fucking jetpacks
and
piggybacks.
Yeah, and they went back to another planet. Yeah, I don't know. It was wild. I feel like in hindsight, they probably could have just done the Gundam thing and made an
AU. They could have. But I admire their tenacity. I do not admire the racism, but you know.
Yeah, we do not. Maybe do
endorse,
not culturally
do not
appropriate.
Steal Maori culture for your fucking Lego toys. Do not do that.
Not even when you're
all right. Do we have anything more to say about Ultraman Blazar?
I don't even remember how we got here. What were we even talking about?
We got to here because I said that the bug guy looks like...
Yes, that's right. Yeah. The bugs are good.
I remember... Remember when Bionicle's second line of toys was bugs, and then they had another line which is the same bugs again? That was funny.
Oh, just in different yes.
yeah, they were just silver colored now. I was like, in hindsight, as a kid, I was like, I need all of them, and now I'm like, wait a minute, that was a fucking scam. They're literally the same toy 12 times.
I'm now looking at Prydac. It doesn't really look like Prydac. It's in my memory, it looked more like Prydac. It does not. This was a completely pointless conversation.
I see how you get there. In my head, I see how you get there.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I have color timers.
Yeah, give us color times.
5 minutes and 2 seconds. For the first time in like a few weeks, I had to actually account for the advertisements, which was rude of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Well. Unless we have anything more to say about Ultraman Blazar, that might be a podcast. Unfortunately, the title of this episode is going to have to be Bionicle related. I apologize.
Yes.
That's my
it's
fault. All right. Well, plugs. We don't have to run long. We got another podcast we can record.
Yeah, we have an actual episode.
Yeah. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at ultra_q. That is at ultra_QUEUE. I am also on Twitter at gender_redacted. Mel.
You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Dick Rounds. If you have questions about Bionicle, you can email us at ultraqpod@gmail.com.
Please send, if you genuinely, please send questions about Bionicle.
Also weigh in if that's a cup or a canister. I need your
It's
thoughts.
a canister. You can't drink from it. It's closed.
Well, no, I
mean,
but it opens
okay,
because
you
there's a Bionicle inside. I'm gonna buy one and drink from it just to spite you.
Which Bionicle are you gonna buy?
Probably the red one to relive my childhood because I'm 30 and sad, and that's what I do now.
Which red one? You should buy the
My red one.
Nova version.
listen, they were all, there's a consistent set of 6 colors they always use, except brown didn't sell well, so they made it yellow for a while.
Am I being that guy that's like okay, which Mega Man? I'm going the blue one.
Yes.
Yes. There are the OG guys, there are the prequel guys, there are the guys that turned into Toa and went after the Mask of Life, and then there are the OG guys again.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
the ones I had from a kid are fucking expensive. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, and then there's
Oh
also
my
the guys on the
God.
other planet.
Yeah, they don't make them
who
anymore.
were there for a minute. Yeah. And then, yeah, Ultra Q Fund is the coffee.
Yeah, in a world where Gunpla is like fucking paying multiple careers for random people that just do shit out of their garage, I'm surprised Bionicle has not had a adult resurgence.
Well, yeah, because
mean-
they tried to relaunch it again. With
But they
it
didn't
more
have
like,
any of the characters that everyone liked because they were too
Yeah.
racist.
Oh.
Yeah, well, they had picked the same characters again, but a reboot for them. Just
They had simplified some of the lore as well,
Yeah.
and that presumably pissed off lore people who inherently like it when things are too complicated.
Yeah, like how the final boss of the first arc of the 3rd gen was like, hey, this is the guy who split off from another guy, and he's riding a spider now, and he's like Deadpool.
I've always gone through life thinking I don't have a Kingdom Hearts. Bionicle might be my Kingdom Hearts. No, that's not true. My Kingdom Hearts is red versus blue, unfortunately.
Oh, that's so much worse.
I know. I
Yeah.
Is this why you bring up the Arbiter as often as you do?
no, I bring up the Arbiter as often as I do because Halo's good.
Yeah, that's true. That's valid. I respect that. The Arbiter is the best thing out of Halo. Can we all agree on this?
I've never
yes.
played Halo, but he does sound cool.
He's very cool.
He is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Raz and I have a Godzilla spoiler cast coming out this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
You went to go see that new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be -1, both the movie and also because Red's not there.
Yeah.
Famously, Godzilla never visits the UK. It's never happened.
We've never had disasters.
No.
And we certainly don't have any kind of imperial shame in our history in the same way that
Yeah, no shame. That's for sure.
I'm just remembering the time when I said what an MBE was as though it was kind of normal, and Mel was like, "What do you mean you still call them of the British Empire?"
My favorite Ultra Q learning about the British moment was one that was not captured on audio. It was the time we're waiting for Mel to log on, and I told Red that I was making an English muffin, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't really even have those over here, really. That's an American thing," and my brain just broke.
We have them. It's just I They're not a big deal. They're
Okay.
like, you know,
That
like,
makes more sense.
I've had
I
one
thought you just
before.
meant like these were an
No,
American construct.
Speaking of colonizers misappropriating Polynesian culture, did you know Hawaiian pizza is actually Canadian?
Damn. Damn.
Yeah. Rosin, you have plugs too, right?
Oh yeah, my Elden Ring Let's Play is back up. I'm doing it. It's out there. It's at Rosenbrand. That's my YouTube channel. That's where you can find me everywhere. That's RASENBRAN. I'm tweeting. I'm not using my co-host or Blue Sky still, but they're there.
My co-host is dead in the water.
Yeah, my co-host is also.
I think I might also give up on co-host. I think Blue Sky, there's still a fighting chance, but co-host, I'm just like,
Blue Sky I still use because it's still basically Twitter, and my brain is like tweet brained. I can't go back to the mode of me that was like a Tumblr person, which is what co-host demands.
like I feel like if I had blogs to fucking write, I'd do it on co-host, but I
Like,
don't have that in
I
me
don't.
right now.
And like I appreciate some of the good posts, but also I'm a person who's bad at reading posts. That's why I'm on Twitter, because I'm like, well, that's a nice thing I can read in like a short amount of characters. Oh no, there's a thread I have to read. I'm struggling anyway.
We have a request from listener Wudaba asking you two to tell me about Metro Nui.
Wait, what?
Is this like off the presses?
This is because I tweeted out we're recording Ultra Q and Red and Mel are going deep on Bionicle lore.
Yeah.
Help.
So Matanui is the island that the first gen takes place on. That's like, you know, an island in the middle of the ocean, like an actual island. But Metro Nui is like an identical looking island underground that's a city. And that was where the prequel takes place.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a brief connection issue. Everything's fine. Yes. That is the. By the way, that is the exact type of person that I was expecting to ask for more Bionicle information.
Yeah. So I will.
Hello.
Hold on. Oh. Made more fucked up because Matanui is also a guy.
Yes,
who becomes the protagonist of the last arc of the story, and also is the giant robot, because Bionicle is silly.
It's so good.
Yeah. So when I say the islands look identical, I mean it.
Let me find the fucking.
No,
map.
I sent it in the chat.
Yes. Yeah, literally, like one is under the other.
Wow.
Like this is kind of an Atlantis situation. This is like a sunken city, kind of. I think, right?
Well, it's more like there's just like an underground civilization, and there's a bunch of like basically
They've
all
got
the
cities
Bionicle
under
universe.
there.
Yeah.
Like this top thing is kind of like this. Like there's a lot of wilderness in here, and then downstairs it's like. These are roads. These are like high rises and everything.
Yeah. Public transportation.
Yes, and they fight these weird spider things, jumping from rooftops to rooftops and stuff, like the Toa of fucking Batman.
Yeah, there's also like fucking copper bots. Yeah.
And they got this cool. This is when they start putting in ranged attacks as like into the toys.
Yeah, because discs were like a thing, because before Bionicle there was a line of things called like Slizers or Throwbots, which were like the gimmick was they threw discs and they carried that forward into Bionicle.
Mm-hmm.
The video game I had was just called Bionicle the Game. I looked up which
I
one
think
it was.
that's not the one I was thinking of, but yes.
If I didn't deactivate my Twitter like 20 minutes ago, I would have like tweeted to Udabo with like the salute emoji.
I've tweeted the salute. I literally just did as you were saying that.
Tell them that I spiritually am doing the same. Because I can't myself at this moment.
There we go. That's done.
Okay, perfect.
All right, that's. Did you get your plug-in about your YouTube channel and everything?
I think so. Yeah.
Razan has a YouTube channel. He's finishing up his Elden Ring Let's Play. It's actually happening.
Yeah, I got extremely owned coming back to the game and being like, I don't really think the enemy repetition really bothers me as much as it seems to everybody else. And then I get to a second Estelle of the Void, and I'm just like, that's kind of dumb.
Wait,
should be.
Wait, there's a second one? I never saw that second one.
Yeah, in the snowfield. There's just a mine that has a second Estelle, and I'm like, don't reuse that one.
Come on, come on.
That's like a cool thing at the end of one of the most ridiculous side quests ever. Don't just have it out somewhere.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm in Tales of Symphonia where I've done like all the temples, and they're like, well, it's time to go to the Tower of Plot and wrap up the plot. And meanwhile, I'm like, I still haven't met 3 of the guys in the opening. What are you talking about?
Let's go.
So that's gonna be fun when I get to it.
Sick.
But yeah.
All right.
Let's go record a different podcast.
Yeah, let's let me hit stop on this one. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
It is. I'm sorry I kept kind of semi-promising it for weeks. There is definitely 100% going to be an Ultra Q coming out this Thursday. I have mostly edited it. I just need to add in a couple of addendums, one of which is very heavy topic, but
that is like maybe the roughest thing I've had to record
Yes.
in my fucking history of making things on the internet over the
felt
past
so
decade.
weird because we were felt really serious about it, and oh man, this is an important thing. And then because of the gap, I kind of forgot it happened until a week before the PC was fixed.
yes.
I was like, oh yeah, that thing.
So yeah, so that'll be coming out this Thursday. Look forward to that. Fuck Ishiro Honda. And
Spoilers.
yeah, goodbye.